Hi. Good morning, everyone. I hope it's been a very good day for you. All right. I really love this to be some sort of interactive session. So you will have some leaflets with you. And if you can, I don't know if you've all got pens, just make it interactive as we go. So first, just fill out your names. If you have the one that has the name on it, and would visit the other things very much later. So I'll just give you, say, a minute to do that. All right, are we good to go? Okay, so I know this session is meant to be a little bit into social media and how you can build a following and just do stuff around it, but I want to take you through a very simple journey, and I'm titling this, You Can Build That. Now, from that, I believe you should have been able to pick a couple of things, and if anyone would be happy enough to respond to me, when you were much younger than this, when they asked you what do you want to be when you grow up, what did you say? You could just scream it out. Engineer. Anyone else? Huh? Artist? Okay. Anyone else? Police officer. Anyone else? Huh? Okay. Musician. Computer. Engineer. All right. Now you agree with me that today, most of these things are changing. And I remember asking one of my nephews, I think about a month ago, what do you want to be when you grow up? And he told me a streamer. And that was quite interesting because these days we have people who are really doing amazing things just by streaming. I'm sure you probably know a couple of them. How many of you know IShowSpeed? Mr. Beast? KSI? And there are many more people like this. And a couple of years ago, it wasn't the traditional career path, but today is one of the most exciting ones because now you can see people doing really amazing things. But I want to show you a few things, and we're going to play a very quick game, and it's called Who Built This? So you see something on your screen, and you tell me who built it, if you know it or if you can remember it. Who built this? What? All right, please, let's be audible as possible. Who built this? Huh? All right, so who built it? All right, let's continue. Who built this? Who built this? Huh? I can't hear anything. Yeah, so who built it? Sam Altman. And who built this? All right, who built this? Now, one thing is interesting about these people, and is that they were once like you, very young people who really knew that there was a lot of things they could do, and they probably explored so many different things. I could tell you stories about them. For example, Steve Jobs, when he was 12 years old, he called up the CEO of HP and secured himself an internship. KSI did so many things, and if you know him, you know all the things he did. And so many about these other people, for example, Elon Musk built a game called Blaster, and he sold it for £500 or dollars when it was, say, 15 or 12. And it shows you that these people, when they were very young, they were already attempting to achieve improbable things that the world didn't even know they could. And it just took a little bit of time for the world to recognize that there was more to them than just the things they can do. And I want to tell you that you can build those things too. But then, what does it really take to build something or to bring an idea to life within your mind and all these amazing things you've seen out there? The truth is that most of us have random ideas all the time, and it can be very difficult for you to sort of pick one idea and say, I want to run with this. For example, We've heard of stories of people dropping out of college or university to pursue something that they really have passion for. And you might be thinking, maybe that's the approach for me as well. And for most of them, they had an idea they felt, okay, was really good, and I'm going to go all out with it. But that wasn't really the first idea they had. They've had several ideas. And over time, exploring these ideas in a way that feels very interesting to them, they realized that this might not be the best one to pursue. So they tried, made mistakes until they found the one the world knows them for today. Now, the truth is that the difference between you just struggling to build something and actually building something that really stands and is effective is by focusing on one particular thing and building systems around it. Now, if I ask you, do you have any ideas today that you feel like if you spend a year on it, it probably will become something really big? How many of us feels like that? Now, if I ask you, what will you build after this particular experience today, can you give me an answer? Does anyone know? Should I point at someone? All right. What will you build? Okay. So the thing is, it can be anything, right? And most times, one of the things that young people like you and I'm also young, that young people often have as an issue is that you feel like what you want to build has to be big, and the whole world sees it. But it can be as little as, say, rebuilding something that someone has already done before. When we had the session, we talked about how you could start with tutorials online, but then with those tutorials you're learning, you can make something different or like add your own uniqueness to it, right? And with what is in your hand right now, the first thing I want you to do is write down maybe an idea or a few ideas that you feel you can actually start to do. It could be anything, something you feel if you pour the next 6 months into, you'll be excited to at least learn more about this thing. So please write that down in the notes you have with you. So what will you build? Let's do that. Let's make it practical. And if it's a little bit hard to come up with something, don't worry, just take your time. Maybe before the end of the session, something will pop up. All right, let's continue. If you look up, please tell me who this is. Like, did you play with it when you were younger? You did? All right, and what did Mr. Potato Head look like? Like this, right? But then, you probably see things like this inside Mr. Potato Head. And what would you normally form or create using this thing? It could be anything, right? And all of these things probably were within the head, so you open it up and you bring all these things out and you build something. But what if I told you that this particular guy can be anything? It could be Iron Man, it could be Batman, it could be Spider-Man, Buzz Lightyear, it could even be Wonder Woman. And the interesting thing is, those different pieces, those different parts, they are brought out of the head, and then you put it together to form something, and you're quite excited. And I've actually seen so many variations of this, and you'll be wondering, how were they able to put all these things together just from that potato head? It's just because there are so many parts, so many ideas, so many things that could make up this particular this figure, and you get something really good. Now, if I were Mr. Potato Head, or if you were Mr. Potato Head, what would be the pieces you put together? Would you be a gamer and a storyteller? Would you be someone who does coding, and then you're also, say, a designer? Many of you said singer. Possibly you would also be an activist. Now, if you have two things you could combine, what would they be? Just right here beside that, what would you build that you did initially? And the reason why I'm trying to make you see this is you can't just be one thing. There are multiple sides to you, and there are easier ways to combine them together. You could choose to do one particular thing and study a particular course in uni, But then as you're stepping out of uni, you're seeing a more exciting path for yourself. There could be a meeting point. And it doesn't have to be strictly be a doctor, be an engineer, or be a police officer. And that's the reason why today, so many people are becoming different things that you're thinking, is this still possible? For example, I studied architecture in the university, and I practiced for a couple of years, and I decided that, you know what, I think a part of me can explore more things. So I started exploring design, storytelling, I got into tech, and then I started a business, became a father, and all of these things, none of them is lost in me. Everything makes me who I am. So if you feel like after uni you want to stop what you're doing and what you studied, you want to venture into something entirely different, you can still find connection points. And based on this experience that I've had, and I'll just tell you a quick story. So I started my first business when I was 15, and it was a printing service in my dorm room. And from that printing service, I saw that there were many other avenues I could explore, because while my peers were going outside of uni to do the printings, I started telling them to come inside, do it with me. And then many of them loved the kind of designs I do. And I started designing for them, not school stuff, but like things they could use for social media and all of that. And I'll design for them. Some of them would have to print it out to maybe use for things that they're doing within their campus. At some point, whenever there are parties or anything that involves sharing flyers, I will do the design. I'll get paid for that. And then they come back to me to also print those designs. So I was running like a all-in-one business. But then I started to see that outside of this, there's still a lot more things. So let me explore all of these things. And in exploring them, I realized that I could tell stories. So from everything I was making from the printing, I bought a small camera, and then I was shooting commercials. I was shooting birthday parties, very random things. And from that, all of these experiences and these skills resulted in me building a following on social media. And this is what my Instagram looks like right now. And it didn't start like this, but because of the several different things I knew how to do, my experience from architecture, from storytelling, from design, being very excited about tech, I was able to put all of them together to build something. And just from building this online, I've gotten the opportunity to work with really amazing companies. For example, when Google launched some of their latest devices, they sent them to me to do a test and to also talk about it. And then later on, I went on to work with them for about 6 months on a different project. I've also gotten the chance to work with Monzo. They launched a book and did a couple of things, and I was part of that. And all of these experiences just shows you that it doesn't have to be a one-way thing. You could explore multiple pieces of yourself and build something that is worthwhile. Now, one of the most interesting things that I've gotten the privilege to build is something called Photopool, and that's one thing we'll get to explore together when you go downstairs. How many of you have been to an event, or let's say a birthday party, and you and your friend, you're taking photos, you snap with a lot of people, and let's say you don't have an iPhone, you use an Android, and people are saying, oh, send it to me via airdrop it, and you're just standing there very oblivious to what's happening, and maybe someone sent it to you on WhatsApp, and the quality is bad. How do you feel? Maybe not so excited, because one, you probably feel left out. Everybody's using iPhone, you have an Android. But then, what if there was a way to bypass all of that and everyone uses just one app, and you don't have to tell anybody to send you photos. You can just go into that app and you can see all the pictures that everyone has taken for that particular day, and you can see yours. And even the more interesting part, if there are, say, 1,000 photos, you don't need to scroll through 1,000 of them. You could just use AI to scan your face, and it looks through all the 1,000 photos and picks out pictures where only you appear and puts it in a separate folder for you to easily download and get access to. Now, that is what Photopool is, and I was privileged enough to build it with a group of friends. And the problem we saw was that people take a lot of pictures, but then there isn't a good way to have them easily distributable for everyone to have access to. But then the actual problem was when someone did a wedding, and from the wedding there were lots of pictures, and then the photographer, his camera crashed, and all the pictures of the wedding was lost. If that was you, how would you feel? So when this happened, we just thought, what if we could build a solution to this? And then that was why we built Photopole. And today, Photopole is doing really amazing things. A lot of events use it. Last time I checked, we have over 11,000 active users in over, I think, 40 countries. And that just started from an idea to, find an easier way to make people share pictures without having to worry about what devices they use. And then now it's even growing beyond just sharing photos. It has become a place where you can manage events from start to finish. You have a birthday party, you have a bar mitzvah, convocation, anything you're doing, you could use it, and it's quite seamless. And we'll be testing it together downstairs. But going back to your own idea, what exactly is it that you want to build? Please think about it in detail. And while you're thinking about it, these are a couple of things you should take note of. First is to name your idea, and then try and tell what problems it solves. And then decide who is it for, and then tell us how it works. So in the notes with you, just put this down. But I would really love it if you explore more of that. Whatever it is you've written down, try and explore it. It will really be good. And it could be one of the first things you do. For example, Elon Musk built a game at, I think, 15, and he sold it for $500. So who knows? You could build something, the watermarking plugin, and some company sees it after it probably does really well, and they would want to buy it off you. So it would be good to do that. Now, I have my own idea, and it's set up downstairs. So if you would love it, you could come down and test my idea with me. And just from testing that idea, you would get access to all of the photos that you would take downstairs with my idea, and you can get access to it by just following this instruction. So you have that on your pamphlet just to get access to it. But just remember this, that it's important for you to not make it too big. Don't let it be complicated. Start small and use what you have, and then learn as you go. So thank you so much. And remember that you can build that, whether on social media, in person, whatever it is you want to do. Thank you.